The wealth definition of economics was given by Adam Smith. The name is very important. He was also called the father of modern economy. Okay. He defined economics as the science of wealth. That means economics study production and consumption of wealth. How we produce wealth and how we consume wealth. That is the definition of, that's a wealth definition given by Adam Smith, who was also known as father of modern economics. According to him, economics is a subject which tells us how to make a nation wealthy. Assuming that if a nation is wealthy, the people are happier. All right. Because at the end of the day, we want happy people around. That's the purpose of life. We want happiness around. Yeah. So he believed that if the nation is wealthy, the people are happier, and hence we should study economics as a subject, how to make a nation wealthy. Economists study the nature of wealth and the causes that increase wealth. Since his focus was wealth, he wanted economics to study how to increase wealth. And wealth refers to gold, silver, land, and building, whole production of goods and services. Okay, he did not consider money as part of wealth. This is important about wealth definition. Money was not considered to be wealth. Money is not wealth because it is not demanded for its own sake. It's a medium of exchange. We need money because we can sell and buy. It's a medium of exchange. It is not wealth. All right. So that was the wealth definition given by Adam Smith. No need to copy it down. I will be giving you everything later. After that comes welfare definition. It was given by economist Alfred Marshall. He gave more importance to human welfare as compared to wealth. He said that wealth is not only, it's only to satisfy human wants, but it's not an end. It's important more than wealth. It's the human welfare which economists should study. How to have better welfare for human beings was his approach. Economics studies the economic activities of human beings. It studies the role of man in the creation of wealth. So the first definition was to study wealth, how to increase wealth. Welfare definition believed that what is the role of man? Man is important in the creation of wealth. Both the definition, in the first definition, which is wealth definition, in the nucleus, in the center is wealth. And in the outer circle, the periphery is human welfare. Human comes later. Important is center is wealth. In welfare definition, in the center, it is human welfare. And the outer periphery is wealth. They said wealth is important, but human welfare is most important. So every person acts mainly to earn and collect wealth. So we need to, according to this definition, economists should study the economic activities of human beings, because people are working, they're acting, they're doing everything to earn, collect wealth so that you can spend it to satisfy your wants. That's the difference. So first definition was wealth given by Adam Smith. Second definition is welfare, where he believed that human welfare is more important than wealth. Wealth is important because it is only a means to satisfy human wants. So human welfare is more important. Welfare definition. Next definition is scarcity definition. Now we've spoken about it. Resources are scarce. So scarcity definition believed in it. It was given by Professor Lionel Robbins. Okay. According to him, economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which has alternative. Now, economics is a science. Okay, it's a social science. We have already studied about it. We have already understood that. It studies human behavior as a relationship between ends. Ends means ends of their wants, what they want. And so there's a relationship between what human wants and the scarce means the limited resources. Now, since the resources are scarce, they are limited, they can have alternative uses. We have understood that. Your pocket money can be used alternatively. It is up to you. So what will you do? You will prioritize your wants. So you will prioritize which one do you want to go first and then later. So you will rank your wants according to your priority. So according to scarcity definition, we have understood unlimited wants. Our wants are unlimited. Means are scarce. Means it shows that resources are scarce. There is scarcity. There will always be scarcity of resources. Since wants are unlimited, these wants are to be ranked in the order of priorities. And on the basis of these priorities, these scarce resources are to be used. So your pocket money, you're going to use this on the basis of your priority. Whether it is to have coffee with your friend or you want to buy a gadget, it's your priority. Which one you want to satisfy first. Okay. There is one more definition, Keynes definition, which is not given in the book. So you may write this definition right now in your notebook. Keynes definition. According to Keynes, economics is the study of administration of a scarce means and the determinants of employment and income. It is not given in the book, but according to the syllabus, they may ask you Keynes definition. So this is the definition which is not given in the book. I am giving you this definition. It's in the PPT also, which I am going to upload. This definition will be there, but this is extra. So please jot it down. It is the study of administration of scarce means. So means are scarce and the determinants of employment and income. So he said how much you earn, because you can only, use the resources accordingly, how much you can spend on it. So please jot this down. I'll repeat it again. According to Keynes, economics is study of administration of scarce means, limited resources, and determinants of employment and income. You will get income only when you're employed. Okay. Moving on. I'll come back to this later if you want to copy it down, or as I told you, I will be mailing you this PPT also for your reference. That would make your job easy. The last, the growth definition, which was given by Samuelson. So Samuelson said that economics is the study of how man and society choose, with or without use of money, to employ scarce resources, which could have alternative uses. Okay, so he said that economics should study how man and the entire society choose whether I am using money or I'm using, I'm not applying money. Both ways. Since the resources are scarce, so it means even natural resources, to use the natural resources, also I might not need to, use money, but it can have alternative uses. So how will I use those scarce resources? Something like coal. Coal can be used in factories, coal can be used in railways, coal can be used for cooking also. So coal, which is a natural resource, how can I, maybe, people don't spend a lot of money on it, but since it's a limited resource, so how to use it to produce various commodities over time and distribute them for consumption now and in the future among various people and groups of society. So according to growth definition, it is not only about how you're going to use now. You will need to make sure that how we can use these resources in future also. So how the growth definition believed in optimum utilization of resources. How you can use the same resource in the best possible way. That is what growth definition is all about. All right. So let me give you a very silly example. Cooking in the kitchen. All right. Cooking in the kitchen during these times when the things are not easily available outside in the market, and we need to use everything available at home in the best way possible. All right, so if your mom is cooking something in a pan, all right, and after cooking she reuses the same pan to cook some other dish also. So what happens, in a very layman language, I'm explaining you this. So what happens is, when you are, not using another vessel and I'm cooking in the same vessel again, so I need not to apply the this soap on the vessel. So I'm saving on that. If I wash it properly, thoroughly to reuse it, then I'm wasting more water. So these are all resources. Okay. At the time of curfew, when you cannot get anything outside, whatever is available, how I use it to the best. This is what growth definition speaks about. The optimum utilization of resources. Since resources are always scarce, they're always limited. Now, the growth definition was the most accepted definition by modern economists. So everybody believed in this that okay, we need optimum utilization of resources. It believed in efficient allocation of resources so that more wants can be satisfied. So the same resources, but with the same resources, maximum wants can be satisfied. It believed in that. He also believed that resources should not only be used properly, but effort should be made to increase them to satisfy ever increasing wants. So wants are ever increasing. So we need to make sure that how can we increase the resources and how it should be done. So he also believed that okay, use it nicely, optimum utilization, but also effort to increase the resources. Economics is not only concerned with identification of economic problems, but it should also suggest ways and means to solve them. He believed that it's not only about identifying the problems. We know the scars are resources are scarce. We know that our wants are unlimited, but we should also, the study of economics should also suggest ways that how can we solve them, how to improvise on them, how to work on them, how to work on these scarce resources. Economics as it stands today is built on the basis of this comprehensive definition. So this growth definition is, which is most accepted, it is mostly used, and world economy is built upon this definition. Okay, so we have understood 4 definitions. Wealth, where the wealth is the periphery, human welfare is the outside. Second is welfare definition, whereas human welfare is at the center and wealth is the outside periphery. Why? because wealth is important to satisfy human wants. So human is in center. Third, after welfare comes the scarcity definition. The means are scarce, so we need to prioritize our wants accordingly. That was scarcity definition. And the last definition is growth definition. It believed in optimum utilization of resources and effort should be made to increase them to satisfy ever increasing wants. And third, it also believed not only in identifying the economic problems, but it should also suggest ways and means to solve them. So these are the four definitions which we have understood. Now, out of these four, I will tell you later. We need not to learn one definition, which I'll tell you later. See, after we finish this chapter, I will make you write what you need to learn out of this. You will not put your brains in the. We are understanding all the concepts, but we need to be smart workers. So I will tell you exactly what you need to learn from exam point of view. Okay. Moving forward quickly. Micro and macro economics. Now, the subject matter of economics, the entire subject, it's broadly divided into two parts, two types of economics, micro and macro. Okay. The term was given by Professor Ragnar Frisch. It was given in the year 1933. If you just go through it, micro, I, macro, A. So when you say micro, it means small. Micro means small, yeah. And macro sounds big, yeah. So identify in micro I is there and in macro A is there. So when I say micro I stands for individual. It's a trick which I'm telling you. Micro and macro, the difference is one letter in each, I and A. Yeah, I stand for individual, A stand for aggregate, entire, aggregate. So microeconomics is individual economics. Macroeconomics is aggregate economics. So when you're studying about individual or certain section, okay, that is micro, small, microeconomics. But when we are talking about large aggregated topics, subjects, population, that's microeconomics. So when when you need to research or study, income of a household, of a family, income of a family, it's a microeconomic. Okay. But when we're talking about income of the nation of India, we are talking about macroeconomics. So that is the difference. Individual, research study of individual, household or a section, microeconomics. Macroeconomics is aggregate study. Okay? Okay. Microeconomics, as it says, micro means small. It deals with small part of economy. Microeconomics studies behavior of small economic units of an economy, like individual consumers or individual producers. In micro, I stands for individuals, individual, single. Thus, microeconomics studies the economic behavior of individuals. Consumer decides how much of various goods to purchase and producer decide how much output to produce. I'll tell you that. Okay, now let's understand the example of microeconomics. Okay, consumer buying behavior of mobile phones. So suppose, I am a manufacturer and I want to manufacture mobile phones. All right. So I would go for a consumer research wherein I would like to know that consumers available in certain countries. Suppose I do a research on some certain country, which kind of mobiles do they prefer? Do they prefer Apple over others? Why Apple? Why not Samsung? We can, then I may go for price determine. How many people who are looking for mobile phones, they look for cost or price. How important is price over brand? So this is certain section. I'm not talking about mobile phones, all over the world. I'm talking about certain section. If I intend to manufacture a mobile phone which will cost around 10,000 rupees, suppose my target, I am a manufacturer who's going to manufacture mobile phone which costs around 10,000 rupees. I would like to go for a research about consumer preference. So I will have a certain section of consumers. I will not go to all the consumers, certain section of consumers who can afford to buy 10,000 rupees or more of spend more on mobile. Okay. And what is their buying behavior? So second point is business decision to introduce a new mobile phone. That is what resources will be required to produce the product. So next point is from a supplier, from a manufacturer point of view. If I want to manufacture a new mobile phone, I will see the resources required to produce the product. What all things will be required? Okay, so that will be my research on that side. It is only, my research will be only the resources required to manufacture that phone. It won't be about rest of the other things. Okay, it is only related to phone. Third type of example, business decisions about the cost of producing this mobile phone. So I will also suppose the kind of cost it will incur. So these are example of different microeconomics research or study business decision about pricing a product. Suppose I am going to launch a mobile phone which has certain, what do you say? It is in competition with Apple. All the technicalities, I mean, everything is almost similar, but it is not Apple. Okay, so I need to decide the price where I can break the market. I can break the consumer's decision. The people who are going to buy it, they can feel that, okay, or everything is just like Apple, but the price is not. So maybe I can take a chance since it is not very expensive. So I need to decide a price for my product to break into the competitive market. Okay, these are examples of microeconomy. These are different kind of studies which a manufacturing unit can go through. After completing micro and macro, I'll come back to you to ask if you have any questions. Macroeconomics. Macro means the aggregate or group of entire economy. Macro stands for aggregates, A, as we did. Thus, macroeconomics studies the aggregate of an economy or economy as a whole. So, my example, national income. For microeconomics, household income. For macro, national income. Okay, when you talk about unemployment in India, it is a macroeconomic research topic. How many unemployed people are there in the country? When you're talking about supply of toothpaste, when you talk about supply of soaps in India or supply of soaps in Mumbai or Maharashtra or supply of rice in Maharashtra, microeconomics. But I'm talking about aggregate supply of consumer goods in India. It's not about soap and shaving creams and shampoos. It's the aggregate supply of all the goods, consumer goods, durable goods, perishable goods, all goods, macroeconomics. Okay, when you're talking about individual, I'm talking about phone which I am going to launch, the price, individual, right? So microeconomics. When I'm talking about the technology or phones all over the world, research, macroeconomics. So individual, micro, aggregate, entire group, macro. Okay, let's quickly go and go through the difference between micro and macro. Microeconomics, it's the study of individual economic units of an economy, such as consumer, a producer, a producer. Okay? So consumer of soaps, consumer of chips, okay, consumer of only one product. That is microeconomics. Macroeconomics, it is the study of economy such as a whole. So national income, total consumption. When I'm talking about consumption of biscuits or chips, so it's only one line I'm going. But when I'm talking about total consumption of goods in India, macroeconomics. Okay. Second point, microeconomics is primarily concerned with the determination of relative prices of goods, that is prices of goods individually, that we have seen. Now this is general price level, concerned with aggregate output, general price level. So it's big version of micro. Third point, micro is demand and supply of a particular commodity. We are doing research of only one commodity when it comes to demand and supply. Like demand of mobile phone, supply of mobile phone, price determination of one type of mobile phone. Okay. Now macro is aggregate demand and aggregate supply of all goods and services. So demand of mobile phones all over the country, all over the world. That's macro. Fourth point, there is limited amount of aggregation in micro. Aggregation is there. When I told you that household income is an example of microeconomics. So household income, when I say micro, so household may include the father and the mother or a son who is working. So three people are working. So it's not only individual. Aggregation is there, total, but limited amount, very small amount. Okay. But in macro, high degree of aggregation is there. When I'm talking about people consuming chips, so yes, I will be aggregating certain section of consumers in India who consume chips on everyday basis, or they have milk supplements like Boost or Bonvita every day. So that's micro, a certain section of society. I am doing aggregation. There is totality. There are certain people who are consuming it. So I will be adding those people. Okay. But when you're talking about macro, it is high degree of aggregation. So people use milk supplements or any other supplements all over the world or all over India. Okay. So we are not talking about single brand. When I'm talking about micro, I'm talking about single brand. When I'm talking about macro, it can be many other things. Got it? So the example of micro is household income and macro is national income. All right.